all of you, and today we are going to say about how an optical mouse actually works. You can see it is a simple optical mouse, and an optical mouse works in completely different way. It shines a bright light down onto your text from an LED, like you can see here. Red LED is there, so when you are moving the mouse, the LED is sparking in a different way. So some optical mice have two LEDs, but the first one shines light down onto the desk, and the light from that is picked up by the photocell. So the second LED lights up a red plastic strip, like you can see, along the back of the mouse. But what is inside an optical mouse or in controller, that we have to know. So an optical mouse is much more high-tech than a ball mouse, and where a ball mouse has quite a few moving parts, an optical mouse is almost entirely electronic. And inside a typical optical mouse, a few of main components. So the most interesting bits are in the center, where the LED light shines down onto your desk, and at the front, where button presses are detected by switches. So some points I have to tell here. An LED at the back generates red light, okay, and shines in a bright. So the mouse toward the front, from the left to right of this, you can see here, and the plastic light guide channels the light from the LED at an angle down on the desk. So a light detector chip measures light reflected back up from the desk and converting the analog movements of your hand into digital signals. If you are reading or have studied with some digital technologies, you will learn more about it. And the scroll wheel, it is not now present here, but actually the scroll wheel is attached here, and it is controlling all the things from here. When suppose I am using this and I have to attach the scroll wheel here, so it will work properly. But here in my case it is not present, and it is the click button, and this is also a click button here, and registers are here, okay, capacitors are there. So a micro switch detects when you press the right mouse button, this right button, if you press, so the micro switch will detect, okay. And the USB cable connection carries digital information from the mouse to your computer. So but how does this is, you can see in my case it is not the wireless mouse, but in wireless mouse it's something different, and there's something extracurricular activities are also attached with their mouse, because there's nothing particularly special about wireless mice, but some features are added. If you figure out your hand movements in exactly the same way, but send the data to your computer using a wireless connection, typically like Bluetooth instead of a USB cable. So USB does not carry only carry the data, but it also provides the power for small plug-in devices like mice. So without that power, wireless mice absolutely obviously need some one or more batteries, which adds a hidden running cost and are therefore slightly heavier than wired ones. So we have to take care of those things, And suppose what if you can't use a mouse? In that case we are using laptop sometime. Okay. So again we have to tell step by step. First number is all about the LED light. Okay, and LED at the back generates red light and shines it horizontally and from the back of the mouse toward the front, from the left to right of this mouse. You can see when I am touching here, it is glowing bright, so it will detect automatically with the sense. And second one is the plastic light guide channels the light from the LED at an angle down on the decks. Okay, and this is called, this one is actually a light detector chip. Okay, this chip detects the light, that's why it is present here. A light detector chip measures reflected backer from the decks, converting the analog movements of your hand into digital signals that can be sent to your computer. Okay, and the fourth one is the scrolling button. That's not in my case present, but the scrolling button, what it helps, the scroll wheel at the front of your mouse is mounted on a switch mechanism that detects both how much it's rotated and whether you have passed it. It functions like the central button of a conventional mouse. So rotations of the scroll wheel can be detected in a variety of different ways. Some mice use broadly variable resistors, okay, similar to the volume control on a radio, but able to turn around multiple times. Others use various kinds of switches, but in my case it is rotating. Okay, and the fifth one is a micro switch is also there, which is helps to detecting, and you press the right button of here. Suppose in my case it is the right button. If I am pressing this button, okay, if I am pressing this button, you can see, so there's an identical switch is also there, and the other side to detect the left button is also there. It is a left button, it is a right button of the mouse. Okay, so the USB cable connection carries digital information from the mouse to our computer. And but who invented this mouse? Okay, for most of their history, computers were provinces of scientists and mathematicians. So you needed a math degree just to understand the manual, and you could only tell them what to do by feeding in a stack of index cards punched with holes. So all that started to change when a brilliant US computer scientist named Douglas Engelbart, and 1925 to 2013 he invented the computer mouse. But Engelbart realized the computer were far too useful just to boffins. So he could see they had the power to change people's lives. But he could also see that they needed to be much easier to use. So during the 1960s, he pioneered most of the easy to use computer technologies that we now take for granted, including on screen and word processing also. Like in my case, sometimes I am using hypertext. So that's why, but he is still best known for inventing the mouse or XY position detector, as it is originally known. That's stuff he named, but it is called the computer mouse. You can see. Okay, thank you so much.